The whistle's shrill blast cut through the humid Andalusian air like a knife, but it was Cora's whisper that sliced deepest. "Coach, you gotta know, Claudia's not right for the team. She's gay. It could be a distraction." The words hung there, venomous and final, as Claudia froze mid-drill on the dusty pitch of Estadio del Sol in Seville, her cleats sinking into the parched earth. In that instant the sun-scorched world tilted, and the twin she shared every secret with, every scraped knee, every midnight confession, betrayed her with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Claudia Vargas had always believed in the unbreakable code of twins. Blood thicker than water, secrets safer than silence. At 17, she and Cora were the inseparable halves of a whole mirror, images forged in the sun-baked hills of southern Spain, where olive groves whispered under endless blue skies and the Guadalquivir River snaked like a lazy vein through Seville's heart. Their mother, Elena, a widowed flamenco dancer turned schoolteacher, had raised them in a cramped apartment above a tapas bar, filling their days with the rhythm of castanets and the scent of saffron rice. Soccer was their escape, their rebellion, a sport that demanded precision and fire, much like the duende that pulsed in their veins. The twins had dominated the youth league since they could walk, their lithe frames dodging defenders with a grace that turned heads. Claudia, the elder by 3 minutes, was the strategist, her hazel eyes scanning the field like a general's, plotting passes that sliced through defenses. Cora, fiercer and flashier, thrived on the spotlight, her footwork a blur of showy feints and thunderous shots. Together they were unstoppable, the Vargas Vortex as the local papers called them, carrying FC Seoul's under-18 girls team to regionals year after year. But beneath the cheers, a quiet fracture had been forming. It started with the starting lineup for the national qualifiers. Coach Ramirez, a grizzled ex-pro with a mustache like a broom bristle and a voice that boomed like cannon fire, had called Claudia's name first. "Vargas Prime," he'd grunted, clapping her on the back after a brutal scrimmage. Cora's face had twisted, just for a second, a shadow crossing her features, but Claudia chalked it up to fatigue. They were twins, jealousy was for strangers. That afternoon, as the team filed off the pitch, sweat-soaked and euphoric, Cora lingered by the water cooler. Claudia was halfway to the locker room when she heard it, her sister's voice low and laced with something ugly. "Coach, wait up." The words that followed landed like a foul. A yellow card straight to the soul. Claudia didn't turn around. She couldn't. Her legs carried her forward on autopilot, the roar of blood in her ears drowning out the distant chatter. By evening the fallout crashed down. Coach Ramirez pulled her aside in his cramped office, the air thick with the smell of old leather and liniment. "Claudia, sit." His eyes, usually sharp as cleats, softened with discomfort. "There's been talk about your, personal life. I run a tight ship here. Distractions like that, they fracture teams. You understand?" She didn't. Not at first. "What talk? Coach, that's bullshit. I'm focused." "We're all focused." Her voice cracked, a rare slip for the girl who never faltered. He sighed, rubbing his temples. "Your sister came to me. Said it's affecting you. The girl's the dynamic. Look, kid, I believe in second chances, but I can't risk the season. You're benched until further notice. Work on your headers in practice, but no games." Benched. The word echoed like a death knell. Claudia stormed out, slamming the door so hard the motivational posters, faded images of Messi and Rapinoe, fluttered like startled birds. Outside, the Seville dusk painted the sky in bruised purples, and Cora waited by the goalpost, kicking idly at a divot in the grass. "You happy now?" Claudia spat, her chest heaving. Up close, the betrayal etched lines on Cora's face that no twin bond could erase. Guilt in the downturn of her mouth, defiance in the jut of her chin. Cora shrugged, but her eyes darted away. "It was for the team, CLA. You know how people talk. In Spain it's not like America. Folks here still clutch their rosaries at the word gay." Coach needed to know so he could handle it. "Handle it? You outed me like I'm some scandal." Claudia's fists clenched, nails biting into palms. She'd confided in Cora months ago, during a rain-soaked night when thunder rattled their shutters. "You're the only one who knows. My twin. And you weaponize it." Cora stepped closer, voice dropping to a hiss. "And you're the one mooning over that girl from the art class. Sophia, right? Doodling her name in your playbook? It was gonna come out eventually. Better from family than the rumor mill. Sophia. The name twisted like a knife. It had started innocently. A shared sketchbook in Senora Lopez's after-school class, where Claudia's precise lines met Sophia's wild charcoal strokes. Sophia Morales, 18 and enigmatic, with cropped black hair that framed her sharp cheekbones and eyes like polished obsidian. She was a transfer from Madrid, all quiet intensity and knowing smiles, the kind that made Claudia's stomach flip during free periods. Their first real conversation had been about Goya's dark paintings, Sophia's fingers brushing Claudia's as she passed a pencil. "You draw like you play, like you're holding back a storm," Sophia had said, and Claudia had blushed so hard she nearly dropped her eraser. But now that fragile spark felt poisoned. Claudia shoved past Cora, the distance between them widening with every step toward the bus stop. Family doesn't sabotage. Family protects. The words choked her, but she meant them. As the city lights flickered on, lanterns strung like fireflies over Plaza de España, she vowed silently she'd survive this. Somehow. Home was a sanctuary of sorts. Elena's apartment, a cocoon of terracotta walls and potted geraniums that overflowed the balcony. But that night, as rain pattered against the tiled roof, Claudia couldn't face her mother's probing gaze. Elena, with her silver-streaked bun and calloused hands from years of clapping rhythms, sensed the storm immediately. "Mihija, what's eating you? Not another fight with your sister." Claudia curled on the threadbare sofa, hugging a pillow that smelled of lavender soap. "Worse, Mama. Cora. She told Coach about me. About liking girls." The confession tumbled out, raw and unfiltered, the first time she'd voiced it beyond Cora's earshot. Elena's face crumpled, then hardened into the fierce protectiveness of a lioness. She crossed the room in 2 strides, pulling Claudia into an embrace that smelled of vanilla and resolve. "Ay, Dios. That Nina. Twins are supposed to be shields, not swords." She stroked Claudia's hair, murmuring old flamenco lyrics about broken hearts mended by dance. "We'll fix this. Tomorrow I talk to Ramirez. And Cora? She answers to me." But Claudia shook her head, pulling back. "No, Mama. I don't want pity benches or family drama. I need to prove it myself." Her voice steadied, a flicker of the old fire returning. "That I'm not a distraction. That love doesn't weaken, it sharpens." Elena searched her daughter's eyes, seeing the echo of her own youth. A love lost to societal whispers, a dancer's grace traded for stability. "Then prove it, Corazon. But remember, strength isn't just in the fight. It's in choosing when to stand alone." The next practices were torture. Claudia showed up early, cleats laced tight, running drills until her lungs burned and her thighs screamed. The team, a ragtag sisterhood of 12 girls from Seville's barrios, whispered behind cupped hands. "Is it true? Coach benched her for that." Cora avoided her gaze, scoring flashy goals that drew cheers, but Claudia saw the hollowness in her twins' celebrations, the way her smile faltered when no one was looking. Sophia noticed too. In art class, as charcoal dust settled like fallout, she slid a sketch across the table. 2 silhouettes on a pitch, one shadowed, one radiant, intertwined by invisible threads. "For the bench warmer," Sophia murmured, her voice a soft lilt with a Madrid edge. "Heard the rumors. Don't let them clip your wings, Claudia." Claudia's fingers trembled as she traced the lines. "Wings? More like they're tying weights to my ankles." But Sophia's touch, light on her wrist, ignited something warm, a counterpoint to the chill of betrayal. "Tell me about it," Sophia said, leaning in. Their knees brushed under the table, accidental and electric. "Over churros? After class?" Claudia hesitated, Cora's warning echoing. But then she nodded, a small rebellion. "Yeah, let's." As they wandered the labyrinthine streets of Barrio Santa Cruz that evening, fairy lights twinkling in the gathering dusk, Claudia unburdened herself. Sophia listened without judgment, her laughter a balm when Claudia recounted Cora's treachery. "Twins," Sophia mused, biting into a sugar-dusted churro. "Like Siamese cats, beautiful until they claw." They talked until the bells of the Giralda Tower told 9. Sophia's stories of Madrid's underground art scene weaving dreams into the night air. When they parted at the apartment door, Sophia's goodbye lingered. A hug that pressed close, her breath warm against Claudia's ear. You're not defined by their fears, CLA. You're the storm they can't contain. That night, sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with pitches and pallets. Claudia woke to the sound of Cora slipping into their shared room, the floorboards creaking like accusations. CLA? You awake? No. But she was, sitting up in the moonlight that slanted through the shutters. Cora perched on the bed's edge, twisting her hands. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Coach said it'd just be a talk, not this. Liar. Claudia's whisper was steel. You wanted my spot. Admit it. Cora flinched, tears glistening. Maybe. A little. But it's more. Mama always favored you, the quiet one, the smart one. And now with this gay thing. I thought it'd even the score. Even the score? Claudia laughed bitterly. Love isn't a game, Cora. It's not something you trade for glory. Silence stretched, heavy as the humid air. Then Cora whispered, I'm scared for you. In Spain it's changing but slow. What if they hate you? Claudia reached out, almost touching, then pulled back. Then I'll love harder. For both of us. Yet the team chafed under Cora's lead. She overplayed, forcing shots that sailed wide, her flair turning frantic without Claudia's steadying passes. Whispers grew. We need the vortex back. Coach Ramirez watched from the sidelines, his mustache twitching with doubt. Then came the first qualifier. Against rivals from Córdoba. Claudia sat the bench, towel twisted in her fists, as Cora's team faltered 1-0 at halftime. The crowd, families crammed into rickety stands, waving scarves dyed team orange, chanted half-heartedly. In the locker room, Ramirez's voice thundered. Wake up! This isn't showtime. It's war. Cora glanced at Claudia, eyes pleading. But Claudia looked away, heart a war drum. The second half dragged. Córdoba's defense a brick wall. With minutes ticking down, Cora broke through. A dazzling dribble, a cross that begged for Claudia's header. But Claudia was sidelined, and the ball rolled harmlessly out. They lost 2-0. The bus ride home was a funeral procession, rain lashing the windows like recriminations. Cora slumped beside Claudia, uninvited. We need you, she murmured. Claudia stared out at the blurred olive fields. You made sure I wasn't needed. The loss lingered like a hangover, souring the air at Estadio del Sol. Practices turned brutal. Coach Ramirez drilling the team until blisters bloomed and tempers frayed. Claudia threw herself into the fringes, fetching balls, timing laps, her presence a ghost haunting the pitch. The other girls, sensing the rift, tiptoed around the twins. Marta, the burly goalkeeper with a laugh like thunder, clapped Claudia's shoulder awkwardly. Lucia, the speedy winger, slipped her extra protein bars. But Cora? She shone in isolation, her goals a defiant blaze. Even as the team's cohesion crumbled. Sofia became Claudia's anchor. Their world shrank to hidden corners. The rooftop of Sofia's abuela's flat, where they sprawled on faded quilts overlooking the river, sharing dreams over smuggled bottles of horchata. Tell me about America, Claudia said one twilight, her head pillowed on Sofia's lap as the sky bled orange. She devoured smuggled copies of The New Yorker from a Triana bookseller, craving the brash optimism of stories set in bustling New York lofts or sun-soaked California beaches. Places where love like theirs unfolded without the shadow of scandal. Sofia chuckled, her fingers combing through Claudia's hair. America? It's all wide-open highways and rainbow flags on every corner. But it's messy too, protests, heartbreaks. Like here but louder. She paused, tracing Claudia's collarbone with a feather-light touch. One day we'll go. You and me. Watch a WNBA game in L, scream our lungs out. Claudia turned, catching Sofia's gaze. Those obsidian eyes holding promises like stars. Their kiss was slow, deepening with the certainty of shared secrets, bodies aligning in the cooling air. No rush, no fire. Just the quiet romance of two girls building a fortress against the world. Promise. Claudia whispered against Sofia's lips. Cross my heart. Sofia's smile was a vow, and in that moment, Claudia believed in tomorrows. But reality intruded like a referee's whistle. Elena confronted Cora over breakfast one morning. The kitchen thick with the aroma of café con leche and unspoken fury. You think you're clever, eh? Sabotaging your own blood for a jersey. Elena's voice, usually melodic, sharpened like a heel on tile. Cora pushed eggs around her plate, sullen. It wasn't like that, Mama. Claudia's distracted. That Sophia girl, she's trouble. Trouble. Elena slammed her palm down, rattling cups. Love is not trouble, Nina. It's life. I lost my Isabella to whispers like yours. Back when flamenco halls turned away dancers who dared love women. Don't you make me bury another heart. The room froze. Claudia, eavesdropping from the hall, felt the words like a revelation. Isabella, her mother's unspoken shadow, the old friend from faded photos. Cora's fork clattered. You. What? Elena softened, tears carving tracks down her cheeks. Yes, me. And it broke me, but it didn't define me. Claudia's stronger than we know. And you? You're her mirror. Act like it. Cora fled to her room, door slamming. Claudia slipped in later, finding her twin curled on the bed, shoulders shaking. Mama told me, Cora mumbled into the pillow. About her. About you too. Claudia sat gingerly, the mattress dipping. It's true. All of it. Assobi escapet Cora. I hate this. I hate that I hurt you. But what if it's all we get? Scorn instead of stories. Claudia hesitated, then pulled Cora into her arms, the first touch since the betrayal. Then we write our own. Together. The thaw was tentative. At practice, Cora tossed Claudia a ball during water break, a silent olive branch. Header, she called, and Claudia nodded, leaping to meet it with a thud that echoed promise. The team noticed, murmurs shifting from suspicion to hope. Coach Ramirez arched a brow but said nothing, his eyes calculating. Sophia met Elena soon after, over a tense family dinner of paella and prickly pears. The apartment buzzed with nerves, Claudia fidgeting with her napkin, Cora picking at her cuticles. Sophia arrived in a simple sundress, hair tousled by the breeze off the river, carrying a sketch of the Vargas women dancing under moonlight. For the heart of the home, she said, handing it to Elena with a shy grin. Elena studied it, her dancer's eye tracing the fluid lines. Then she smiled, genuine and warm. You see us, chica. Sit, eat, and tell me. Do you draw trouble or just find it? Laughter broke the ice, tentative at first, then cascading. Cora even cracked a joke about Claudia's artistic distractions, earning a playful swat. By dessert, Sophia's hand found Claudia's under the table, a secret tether. As they cleared plates, Elena pulled Claudia aside. She's good for you. Steady like a good Paso Doble partner. But the real test loomed. The regional semifinals against Granada's undefeated squad. Coach Ramirez called a team meeting in the clubhouse, the air humming with anticipation. Posters of past glories peeled from cinderblock walls, and the scent of fresh-cut grass clung to jerseys. Ladies, he boomed, pacing like a caged bull. Granada's got speed, skill, and no mercy. We need unity. Vargas duo, both of you. Claudia, you're in. Earn it. The room erupted, cheers, backslaps, Lucia whooping as she bear-hugged Claudia. Cora's grin was electric, but her eyes held a shadow. Redemption's weight. Later, in the emptying lot, she gripped Claudia's arm. Don't hold back. For us. I won't, Claudia promised. But doubt not, could she trust the past, the play, the sister? The week blurred. Strategy sessions where Claudia mapped Granada's weaknesses on grease-stained napkins. Midnight runs along the river with Sophia, her encouragement a litany against nerves. You're the strategist, me general, Sophia teased, stealing a kiss mid-stride. Lead them to glory, then come home to me. Game day dawned crisp, a rare autumn chill nipping at Seville's eternal warmth. Estadio del Sol swelled with spectators, 2,000 strong, scarves waving like battle flags, vendors hawking churros and chants. Elena sat front row, flanked by Sophia and a reluctant Cora's friends, her face a mask of fierce pride. The twins emerged from the tunnel, jerseys crisp, cleats gleaming. Claudia's heart thundered as they lined up, the referee's whistle piercing the roar. Granada struck first. A blistering counter that left Marta sprawling, the ball nestling in the net. 1-0. The crowd groaned, but Claudia locked eyes with Cora across the midfield stripe. Now, she mouthed, and Cora nodded, fire reignited. The tide turned on a corner kick. Claudia's delivery arced perfect, Cora rising like a phoenix to nod it home. 1-1. The stadium shook, Elena leaping to her feet, Sophia's whoop lost in the din. But Granada pressed, their captain, a towering striker named Ines, bullying through defenses with elbows and grit. Cora took a charge, sprawling in the mud, and Claudia's world narrowed to fury. She charged, weaving past two markers, her shot a laser that kissed the post and in. 2-1. Halftime buzz with momentum. Ramirez's pep talk a growl of belief. Vortes time, chicas. But as the teams jogged out, Cora pulled Claudia aside, voice urgent. Behind you. Ines targets your left flank. Trust me. Claudia searched her twin's face. Guileless now, earnest. Always, she lied, the old wound twinging. But as play resumed, Cora's warning proved true. She intercepted a through ball, feeding Claudia for a breakaway that Marta converted off a rebound. 3-1. Granada clawed back. Ines heading a corner to make it 3-2 with 10 minutes left. Tension coiled like a spring, the crowd a living beast. Then disaster. Cora twisted an ankle on a sloppy tackle, crumpling with a cry that silenced the stands. Claudia skidded to her side, hands hovering. Cora, talk to me. Tears streaked Cora's dirt-smeared face. Go. Finish it. For us. Medics swarmed, stretcher ready, but Cora waved them off, hobbling to the sideline with grim determination. 5 minutes. 4. The clock mocked. Granada poured forward, desperate. Claudia dropped deep, organizing the backline, Lucia's overlaps, Marta's clearances. Then a turnover, Lucia's steal, a long ball over the top. Claudia sprinted, lungs aflame, the goalie rushing out. Time slowed, grass blurring, heart slamming. She chipped it, delicate and deadly, the ball lofting over outstretched gloves into the top corner. 3-2. Final whistle. Victory. The team mobbed her, a tangle of limbs and screams. Sophia vaulted the barrier, Elena behind, their hugs a whirlwind. But Claudia's eyes sought Cora, propped on crutches, tears mirroring her own. You did it, Cora whispered as Claudia pulled her close. We did. In that crush under the floodlights, Claudia felt the fracture mend. Not seamless but strong in its scars. Twins again if scarred. The victory parade wound through Seville's arteries like a river in flood. Orange-clad fans spilling from bars, firecrackers popping like celebratory gunfire. The air electric with chants of, Vortex! Vortex! Claudia rode atop a flatbed truck with the team, Sophia's hand warm in hers below the rail. Cora's crutch propped beside her like a scepter of survival. Elena led the march on foot, her steps a flamenco flourish, drawing whoops from the crowd. For a night, the world felt conquerable. The betrayal a footnote in triumph's epic. But dawn brought the ache. Cora's ankle swelled purple, sidelining her for the finals, and Coach Ramirez called Claudia to his office midweek. Kid, that chip was poetry. But nationals? Granada's whining to the Federation. Claim interference. Point to the distraction rumors. His mustache drooped, defeat in his eyes. They might disqualify us if it sticks. Claudia's stomach plummeted. Interference? Like what? Me existing? Rage bubbled, hot and familiar. Sophia, waiting outside, caught her as she burst through the door, tears hot on her cheeks. They can't. We earned this. They walked the riverbank, willows dipping like mourners, Sophia's arm a steady anchor. They can try, she said softly. But lies crumble under truth. We'll fight it, petitions, stories. Your mama is a force. Let's unleash her. That evening, the apartment transformed into war council. Elena paced, phone glued to her ear, rallying old contacts from her dancing days, journalists, activists, even a distant cousin in Madrid's equality office. Cora, foot elevated on cushions, sketched protest signs with uncharacteristic focus. Love scores goals in bold, looping script. This is on me, she admitted, voice thick. I started the whisper. Let me end it. Claudia watched her twin, the girl who'd once been her shadow now stepping into light. We end it. Together. The Federation hearing convened in a stuffy Malaga conference room 2 days later, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry hornets. Granada's coach, a slick weasel named Torres, leaned into the mic spinning tales of moral erosion and team discord, his eyes sliding to Claudia with oily disdain. The Vargas girls. Inclinations have sown doubt. We demand a review. Ramirez countered fiercely, video clips of the game rolling on a projector, the chip, the saves, the unbreakable spirit. Then Elena rose, her presence commanding. voice a melody of measured fire. In Spain we've danced around shadows too long. My daughter loves fiercely, that's her strength, not scandal. Disqualify her, and you disqualify progress. But it was Cora who stole the room. Hobbling to the podium on lone crutches, she faced Torres without flinching. I started the rumor. Me, her twin. Jealousy, fear, whatever you call it. I told our coach she was gay to bench her. And you know what? It backfired. She rose stronger, led us to victory. If that's a distraction, then call me one too. Because I love her more for it. Gasps rippled. Torres blustered, but the panel, 3 stern faces softened by Cora's raw confession, huddled. After an eternity, the chairwoman cleared her throat. No disqualificación. But a warning, rumors end here. Play the game. Relief crashed like waves. On the drive home, windows down to the coastal wind, Claudia squeezed Cora's hand. You didn't have to. I did, Cora replied, simple as that. Sisters cover each other's backs. Sophia waited at the apartment with a feast. Gazpacho chilled to perfection, patatas bravas spiced with victory. As they ate on the balcony, stars pricking the velvet sky, talk turned to futures. Nationals in Barcelona. Lucia texted the group chat, emojis exploding. Vortex forever. But beneath the joy, Claudia felt the pull of deeper currents. Sophia's sketches had evolved. Now featuring crowds, not just couples. Banners waving in stadiums where love was just another cheer. Imagine it, Sophia said, her head on Claudia's shoulder as the city hummed below. A Spain where we don't hide. Where twins don't betray because there's nothing to fear. Claudia kissed her temple, tasting salt and dreams. We're making it real. The national finals arrived under a banner of redemption. Barcelona's Camp Nou loomed mythic, a coliseum for modern gladiators. 80,000 seats pulsing with Spain's soccer soul. FC Seoul's underdogs against Valencia's machine. A team of polished pros, funded by orange groves and old money. Pre-game hype blanketed the news. Vargas twins. From betrayal to brotherhood? Pundits dissected Cora's confession, turning scandal to saga. Cora, cleared but limping, suited up as sub, her ankle taped like armor. Bench me if it flares, she told Ramirez. But if you need a spark. The match kicked off in a frenzy, Valencia swarming like hornets. They scored twice in the first 20. A penalty after Marta's foul, a header off a corner. 2-0. The crowd's roar favored the favorites, Barcelona's cosmopolitan edge sharpening the jeers aimed at Seville's scrappers. Claudia rallied, her voice cutting through halftime din in the tunnel. This isn't just a game, it's our story. Every pass, every tackle. We write it. Eyes locked, Lucia's fierce nod, Marta's grin, Cora's quiet resolve from the bench. They emerged reborn. The second half ignited. Claudia orchestrated from deep, threading needles through Valencia's press. Lucia equalized on a breakaway, her shot a scream into the net. 2-1. Then Cora subbed in at the hour, ignoring twinges, her first touch a nutmeg that left defenders grasping air. She fed Claudia, who rifled it home. 2-2, the underdog roar shaking the rafters. Valencia pushed back their star forward. A phenom named Reyes dancing through gaps. With 8 minutes left, she slotted one past Marta. 3-2. Despair loomed, but Claudia saw it. The seam in their line, Cora mirroring her thoughts across the pitch. Switch! Claudia yelled and Cora peeled wide, drawing 2 markers. The pass was telepathic, a curveball born of twin intuition. Claudia ghosting into the box unmarked. Reyes lunged, a reckless slide that caught Claudia's thigh, pain blooming white-hot. She stumbled but connected, volley sweet and savage, the ball bulging the net. 3-3. Penalty. VAR reviewed, the stadium holding breath. Foul confirmed. Claudia stepped up, the weight of worlds on her shoulders. Goalkeeper sneered, but Claudia breathed Sophia's words. You're the storm. The kick was pure low, keeper's left, a whisper into the corner. 4-3. Chaos. Teammates piled on, Cora's crutches forgotten in the crush. Sophia and Elena invaded the pitch post whistle, the Federation turning blind eyes to the joy. Confetti rained, cameras flashed, but Claudia sought Cora amid the melee. You called it, Claudia gasped, hugging her tight. We called it, Cora corrected, tears mingling with sweat. Forgive me. Already did. The words freed them, a knot untying. As the trophy lifted, gleaming silver under floodlights, Claudia scanned the sea of faces. Sophia's proud beam, Elena's dance of delight. This was humanism's quiet win. Not erasing scars but weaving them into strength. Love in all its forms had scored the final goal. Yet the night deepened, conflicts unspoken. Back in the hotel, champagne fizzing in plastic cups, Cora pulled Claudia onto the balcony overlooking the Gothic spires. That penalty. You channeled me, didn't you? Like when we were kids practicing on the beach. Claudia nodded, wind tousling their hair in unison. Always you. Even when I hated it. Cora's laugh was watery. I envied your quiet fire. Thought flash was enough. But seeing you with Sophia. It showed me. Love doesn't distract, it defines. They clinked cups, the city sprawling like a promise below. But Sophia, joining them with a sketchpad under arm, sensed the undercurrent. Room for one more? She asked, sliding between. Always, Claudia said, pulling her close. The three stood in triangle, sisters and lover. A new constellation. The victory's afterglow stretched into summer. Barcelona's triumph etched in headlines from El País to grainy TikToks that went viral across the Atlantic. Seville sisters, gay, gritty, golden. One read, pairing Cora's confession with clips of Claudia's penalty. A narrative arc that turned personal pain into public poetry. Invites flooded. Talk shows, youth clinics, even a documentary pitch from a Madrid producer. Elena fielded them like a gatekeeper, her dancer's poise masking pride. My girls are players, not props, she'd say, voice brooking no argument. For Claudia, normalcy was the real prize. Practices resumed light, the team bonded tighter. Picnics by the river, where Lucia taught Sophia samba steps and Marta grilled sardines till they charred just right. Cora's ankle healed crooked, a faint limp her souvenir, but she channeled it into coaching drills, her flair tempered by wisdom. Pass first, she'd bark at rookies, echoing Claudia's mantra. Sophia's presence wove deeper into the fabric. She moved into a shared flat with Claudia that fall, their space a riot of canvases and cleats, Sophia's abstracts clashing gloriously with Claudia's neat stacks of playbooks. Mornings began with coffee on the fire escape, Sophia sketching while Claudia reviewed tapes, their feet tangled under the tiny table. You're my calm in the chaos, Claudia murmured one dawn, as the Giralda's shadow stretched long. And you're my spark, Sophia replied, sealing it with a kiss that tasted of espresso and eternity. But betrayal's echo lingered, a low hum beneath the harmony. Cora dated sporadically, a boy from the university, then a girl from a poetry slam, testing waters with the caution of one burned. One rainy evening, as thunder rolled over the Sierra Morena, she confessed over wine at the apartment. I like her, the poet. But after what I did to you, it feels like stealing. Claudia set her glass down, the clink sharp. Love isn't theft, Cora. It's infinite. You don't owe me permission. Cora's eyes, so like her own, shimmered. But I broke us. How do I deserve this? You deserve everything, Claudia said, fierce. We rebuild. Brick by tear. Sophia, ever the artist, captured the moment later in oils. Twins toasting under stormlit skies, a third figure, herself, fading into the horizon, a bridge to wider worlds. For the gallery, she explained, but Claudia saw the subtext. Forgiveness as art, messy and magnificent. Autumn brought challenges anew. FC Seoul eyed the European Youth Cup, but scouts whispered doubts. Granada's Torres, bitter as gall, leaked old rumors to blogs, twisting Cora's redemption into convenient theater. Coach Ramirez scoffed, but pressure mounted. Sponsors hedged. Parents grumbled at school gates. Claudia felt the strain in stolen moments, arguments with Sophia over late practices, her focus fraying like old laces. You're carrying the team again, Sophia said one night, as Claudia paced their flat, replaying a botched drill. But who's carrying you? You are, Claudia snapped, regret instant. God, I'm sorry. It's just, they want perfection, but I'm piecing myself back. Sophia crossed the room, hands framing Claudia's face. Then peace with me. Not against. Their lovemaking that night was tender, a reaffirmation. No frenzy, just the slow dance of bodies learning trust, breath sinking like passes on the pitch. Cora confronted the leaks head-on, granting an interview to a local radio show, voice steady, No crutches now. I outed my sister out of fear. Mine not hers. But she taught me, vulnerability wins games, wins hearts. Don't let my mistake define her light. The backlash flipped, supporters surged, rainbow scarves mingling with Team Orange at practices. Even Torres quieted, his team faltering in qualifiers. Winter solstice brought the European Cup semi-final in Lisbon, Portugal's tiles gleaming under December sun. The twins started, their synergy a revelation, Claudia's vision feeding Cora's speed. A vortex reborn. They won 2-0, Claudia's assist a curving beauty that Sophia immortalized in a quick phone sketch from the stands. The final against a Dutch powerhouse loomed in Amsterdam, canals frozen in fairy tale frill. Travel was a whirlwind. Elena booking the cheapest flights, Sophia tagging along with her portfolio dreaming of Dutch masters. Rembrandt would envy your shadows, she teased Claudia en route, fingers laced across armrests. Amsterdam welcomed them with wind-whipped chill and tulip-scented air. The Johan Cruyff Arena a cathedral of green. 25,000 packed in, banners in a babble of tongues. FC Seoul underdogs eternal, faced Ajax's juggernaut, blondes with braids and boots like battering rams. The game was a grinder. Ajax scored early on a set-piece, their wall unyielding. 1-0. Cora equalized with a screamer from distance, her limp forgotten in adrenaline's rush. 1-1. Halftime saw Ramirez diagramming furiously, Claudia adding tweaks, exploit the right back's lag. Second half. Ajax pressed, but Claudia's midfield mastery held. At the 78th, chaos erupted. A clearance ricocheting off a post, Cora pouncing for a tap-in. 2-1. Ajax equalized in the death, a deflected shot, 2-2 into extra time. Exhaustion clawed, legs leaden. Sophia's voice carried from the stands. Storm. A lifeline. In the 108th, Claudia won a free kick 50 yards out. The wall loomed, keeper mocking. She curled it, dipping over arms, kissing the bar and in. 3-2. The whistle sealed it. Europe theirs. The podium gleamed under pyrotechnics, medals heavy as history. Claudia, Cora flanking, lifted the cup. Elena's sobs a soundtrack to glory. Sophia rushed the field, her kiss salt-sweet amid flashes. Back in Seville, spring bloomed defiant. Azahor perfuming the air, festivals thumping with drums. The twins launched a clinic for barrio girls. Vortex visions. Teaching soccer and self. Cora's charisma drawing crowds. Claudia's strategies grounding them. Sophia exhibited her series, Fields of Fire. In a Triana gallery, sales funding scholarships. Elena danced again, a small troupe of women like her. Loving freely, steps unapologetic. One evening, as cicadas hummed in the olive grove behind their old apartment, the three women, Claudia, Cora, Sophia, picnicked under stars. Wine flowed, stories looped. Betrayals mended. Loves kindled, victories hard won. To us, Cora toasted, glass raised. Twins, storms, and all. To family, Claudia added, eyes on Sophia. To stories unfinished, Sophia finished, her smile the horizon. In that humanistic hush, Spain felt vast, not confining but canvas. Betrayal had been the spark. Love the enduring flame. And as laughter rose, Claudia knew. The biggest victory wasn't the cup, but the hearts it forged, unbreakable, intertwined, eternally theirs.